Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Rick Shiels Golf Show podcast. Believe it or not, and many people would not believe it, this is episode 305. We've done 304 completed, near perfect episodes.
Do you want a medal?
Yeah, I do. I do. Guys, welcome back. We are recording the podcast. We thought, you know what? We've missed your beautiful faces. I know you've missed ours. So on episode 305, we are back on the podcast channel. We have resuscitated it after the fantastic Scott O'Neill podcast a couple of weeks ago. It's like, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that energy of being recorded.
When you say resuscitated it, how close was the channel to being dead? Did it take a lot of work to bring it back to life?
Did it just?
Yeah. The kiss of life from Rick Shiels. The kiss of death.
We gave it the kiss of death, and now we're trying to give it the kiss of life. And also, more exciting news, it's a major week.
Oh, yes.
Sad news. It's the last major of the year.
That's a topic for today, I think, to discuss, because the golf majors were waiting all winter. The Masters springs upon us in the spring, and all of a sudden you blink, the majors have gone forever till next year. And
weirdly, the players must think the same. It's like, you've got to hit form in those 4 months of the year, or you are not going to be walking away with a major tournament this year.
The slight caveat, every other year you have that Ryder Cup to fall back on in September, but you're right, the major golf season, it comes so quick and it's over so quick. However, we have got the Open this week, so this episode is the Open preview. We're excited. You have played Royal Portrush a few times. I think twice you've played the golf course. At least twice.
I have played it.
I think two.
It is only twice, yeah. I played it in 2019 in some kind of rainy, authentic day, which was fantastic. The first time I played it, and I played it last year when we had a little trip over to Ireland. Just an unbelievable golf course, like real. The best way of describing it is as true a links as you're going to play. Yeah,
I think you're certainly someone to fill us in then, because you've played it twice. I think before we jump on to this week, though, and the major that is here, the Open, which again, I say this every single April and then July, I have now committed to, at this moment in time, the Open being the best major. Ask me in April, it will be the Masters. But right now, I am so excited for this week to see who can lift that claret jug in Ireland and follow in the footsteps of Shane Lowry in 2019.
Right now,
yeah,
I'm in a slightly different position.
You're not feeling it yet.
Right now, my head is my heart is well and truly set with the Masters. And the Open's got to be something special to win me over this year, because I've enjoyed the last couple of Opens, but they've not blown me away. If Sunday is the most incredible final day with all of the action you want to see, and we see all four elements of conditions, we see a sunny day, a windy day, a rainy day, and then last but not least on that Sunday, beautiful Sunday, back nine, and the leaderboard is absolutely stacked. And I can't turn off like I didn't like this year at the Masters, where I just literally could not turn off the TV. Then it will become number one in my eyes again.
The issue you have with the Open, but also part of the very magic of the Open, is you can occasionally get some kind of like rogue winners, can't you? That sounds bad, that, because everyone who's playing the Open absolutely deserves to be there. They've obviously either been a major champion before, or they're a solid PGA Tour player or Live player, you're a DP World Tour player, or they've qualified, which again is the magic of the Open. But there have been a few years, certainly in my lifetime, 2003, 2004, where you had Ben Curtis and Todd Hamilton winning, which amazing achievement, don't get me wrong, but from a spectator standpoint wasn't quite as exciting. You could argue as well the Brian Harman year at Royal Liverpool 2023 wasn't the most exciting, because he maybe wasn't a fan favourite and he kind of went on to win quite easily. However, if you could picture now, think about Sunday, you've got Rory doing well, you've got Bryson doing well, you've got Scotty Scheffler, Tommy's up there. There's so many little narratives and stories. It can be the most magical tournament.
And listen, I love an outsider that's doing well. Like there's nothing more compelling. Was it Dan Brown last year who did fantastic? And it's magical, and it's exciting, and it's dramatic. It's not really who you want to win, unfortunately. Like the one for me that always still stands out is the 2009 Open at Turnberry when Stuart Sink won. And he Tom Watson.
So close.
literally had it in his hands and he just overhit it into the green, didn't get up and down from the back of the green, and then lost in a playoff. That one for me really, obviously it would hurt Tom Watson more, but really hurts me in the heart. But a lot of the other names that win it are absolute legends of the game. And what are we going to see this year? Who knows? Is it going to be a new player that's not won before? Is it going to be Rory after he's won the Masters this year? Is it going to be Scotty Scheffler, who's obviously not won the Open yet, but it's almost inevitable. It's not about if Scotty Scheffler wins. It's about when does Scotty Scheffler win the Open. Are we going to see some drama like we did last year where Justin Rose was literally pushing all the way to the final few holes, which was outrageously dramatic? Or are we going to see someone like a Brian Harman who just made that Sunday at Royal Liverpool one of the not only wettest it was, and it was a horrible wet day, but just a really anticlimactic finish to an Open Championship?
What was interesting to that point is, obviously the week before the Open, we had two really big events that kind of show you who's in form. Obviously lots of things can happen even in the space of a week, but obviously we had Live Andalusia, which I know you were at obviously this earlier in the week, which you'll touch on, at Valderrama, which looks like an incredibly hard and exciting golf course.
So nice.
And on the DP World Tour / PGA Tour, the kind of co-sanctioned event was the Scottish Open, which obviously falls the week before the Open every single year. Rory was right up there, didn't quite get across the line, and Chris Gotterup won. I actually watched quite a bit of that. It was on at the same time as Wimbledon. But there were some names up there again, the kind of your Justin Roses, your Fitzpatrick, Scotty Scheffler was up there as he always is, Ludwig Aberg, Xander Schauffele, Wyndham Clark, Victor Hovland, loads of these names that you think, right, okay, if they're playing some links golf and clearly playing quite well, that's going to put them into a great kind of momentum moving into this week of the Open. So I think those guys on that kind of side of the tours, if you like, look like they're kind of gearing up and getting ready for this week. But again, obviously at Live Andalusia, there was another stacked leaderboard.
It was. John Rahm came second. Abe Answer, who's been playing great golf. I'll tell you what, there's a name that I think is going to do very well this week. Tom McKibben. I think Tom McKibben's going to do well. Obviously, from Northern Ireland himself, grew up playing golf with Rory, or not playing golf with Rory, but saying golf club as Rory. A little bit of intel told me he played golf at Portrush recently with Darren Clarke.
He's there now as we speak.
Is he really?
As we speak now, Rory, Darren Clarke and Tom McKibben are in a practice round.
There you go. So a couple of weeks ago, he played with Darren Clarke. He's super excited about it. He's going to get loads of home support without maybe the huge amount of pressure that someone like a Rory's going to get. Like Tom McKibben's going to feel it, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be the weight on his shoulders. If you remember back in 2019 when Rory stood on that first tee with quite literally the weight of the whole of Ireland on his shoulders, and he stood there and walked off, was it the first hole with an 8?
Yeah, he got a quad.
And went on to unfortunately have a terrible first round. I mean, luckily for Ireland, you had Shane Lowry who went on to win in 2019. But I feel like Tom McKibben, he's been playing some great golf, and I really think he's going to do fantastic this week.
You know what? Somebody like a Tom McKibben, obviously again, a young Irish guy, for him to be holding the lead of an Open Championship, go down the last few holes, I'd love him to do it, don't get me wrong. It'll be a lot of pressure. But somebody like that, imagine if he has 2 solid rounds, makes the cut, Saturday, a decent enough round, let's say, I don't know if we don't know the conditions yet, it's meant to be rainy and windy, but like another all right round. And if the final round he has like a 66 or something crazy, and he's a few groups in front of the leader, and suddenly the weather turns a bit and there's a few bad holes, few bogeys, that's the kind of position you think where he's in contention but not massively, has an amazing round, and suddenly everybody starts to fall away and he suddenly wins. Like that could be the way someone like that might get their hands on the claret jug.
Super interested to see how Bryson plays this week. He's not had the greatest success yet in open venues and Open Championships, just because I think the way he plays his golf is so different to how links golf is supposed to be played. You may have seen him live. I've been lucky enough to play golf with him. He hits the ball so unbelievably high. I mean, it's higher than anybody else that's in the field, without question. That's not great for wind. Like, that's not ideal. But he's gritty, his short game's fantastic. His putting is very measured and calculated. And like I say, I just feel there's lots and lots and lots of storylines. We saw Tommy Fleetwood just a few weeks ago, quite literally knocking at the door for his first win on US soil. Really unlucky that he kind of just bogeyed the last hole.
Just on that, obviously, you're pretty close to Tommy. He's a lovely guy, and I was honestly rooting for him so hard. That's one of the most upset I've ever been watching golf. And it felt like, I know it sounds silly, it felt like watching Liverpool be 2-1 up, and in the 89th minute, somebody score an equaliser, and then in the 91st minute, they lose 3-2. That's how I felt in like a cup final. I was devastated for him. And Tommy is so talented. I do think he will go on to win a PGA Tour event, but that must scar.
What was fascinating for me, I was actually in America at the time watching the coverage. I was actually going out filming with Garrett Clark from Good. And you obviously had a very stacked leaderboard. I was sat with a few guys in the clubhouse. We're watching the golf. No word of a lie, guy. We were in America in a bar in a golf club called, can't remember what it's called. What's it called? Matt, were you there? Garrett Clark match. Anyway, we're in a golf clubhouse, loads of Americans. Mm-hmm. The whole place was rooting for Tommy Fleetwood.
Yeah,
more than
Keegan Bradley,
more than their own USA Ryder Cup captain Keegan Bradley. Everybody in that room wanted Tommy Fleetwood to win, which is wild. It just shows how likable he is.
He is, and obviously, you think like his skill set is unbelievable. He's so consistent. I think he is now, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I'm sure the stat was he's the PGA Tour player with the most top 10s now without a win, I think. So there's no other golfer, I believe, if this is right, I'm sure it is, that's had more top 10s than him without being on to win an event. So which isn't a stat you want next to your name, let's be honest. I don't think you do anyway. But hopefully he can go on and get past that. I mean, the only kind of worrying thing is with something like that he was going down, obviously, 18 leading. And then obviously he didn't get it across the line, but knowing, Tommy's game, that might just drive him on to do even more. You never know. It could actually be a bizarrely good thing. He might be going down the 18th on Sunday at Royal Portrush, feeding off that and absolutely get it across the line and win.
Don't forget, he was in the final group 2019.
Yeah.
With Shane Lowry.
Yeah.
Like he was right there. I think he was even leading after 2 rounds. Like he's got the game to play around somewhere like a Royal Portrush. So yeah, super, super excited for it. First Open, I'm not going to I was trying to work this out the other day. It's got to be over a decade.
The one I didn't go to, and I'm not sure about you, I didn't go to Muirfield in 2013.
Did I?
That was one that I definitely, because the year before I think was Birkdale Lytham, which is on our doorstep. 13 was Muirfield, and I didn't go.
That might be the last one I didn't go to as well. So that's over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
How mad's that? So let me have a quick look. So I had the Troon. I went. So if we go back to 13, Muirfield, Royal Liverpool definitely went to in 2014. St Andrews in 15. Yeah. Troon in 16. Yeah. Oddly enough, I literally went to Troon for one day because my wife was heavily pregnant with our second child. Birkdale, Carnoustie, Portrush, Royal St George, because that was COVID time when it was much quieter, obviously. 150th at St Andrews, which is still like one of the best opens ever. Royal Liverpool, Royal Troon, So it was myself, 2013. I went to 12 at Royal Lytham. I didn't do 11. I did 2010 at St Andrews. So it's sad really because I love the Open. It was just trying to squeeze it into a bit of a tighter schedule. We've got, as you mentioned, I've just come back from Spain, Andalusia. I've got JCB Live next week. If it was in mainland UK, is how you'd say it. If it was in England or Scotland,
you might have just driven up.
100%. I would have gone up for a couple of days, but just that actually going over and getting a flight over there is a bit of a challenge and trying to sort out accommodation, etc. now. But it's going to be epic. I'm really, you know what? Albeit I'm going to take it that I'm not going, which is unfortunate. I get to watch on TV.
Well, that's the thing.
Get to watch all of the action on the TV, which I'm actually really excited about.
For people going, they will have an absolutely amazing experience. The Open Championship is, I'm sure the Masters is probably better to go to spectator because of how hard it is to get tickets and the unbelievable spectacle of Augusta National. But going to the Open is unbelievable. And I encourage every golfer who has the opportunity to do so, grab it with both hands. It's amazing. It's a great day out. However, we say this every time we go, it's amazing to be on site. You can feel it, you can see the players, and you're part of something special. However, the caveat to that is that nothing beats watching the golf on the TV. My favourite thing to do, which we've done many years before, is to go to the golf on maybe the Thursday, Friday, see it all, feel it all, and then on the Sunday, base myself on the couch and just drink it all in because it's so incredible.
Yeah, I'm super looking forward to it.
I've got 5 players. I went to blind rank. So I've got 5 golfers out you to blind rank on the performance of the Open. So basically, I'm going to give you these 5 golfers. You've got to say 1, 2, 3, or 5 where you think you're going to finish.
Okay.
Bryson DeChambeau, out of the 5. You don't know who's next.
3rd.
Tommy Fleetwood.
2nd.
Ooh. John Rahm. John Rahm. Where's he going to... Are you going to rank him?
1st.
So you've now got 4 and 5 left to play. You've gone early here.
And you're going to throw Scotty Scheffler in there.
Correct.
And Rory McIlroy.
You've read my mind. So Scotty.
I'm going to go 4th. And I'm Rory 5th.
Wow. So your ranking is John Rahm, Tommy Fleetwood, Bryson, Scotty, Rory.
Yeah.
That is bold.
I think if I could move one up, I'd probably move Bryson to 4th, Tommy to 3rd, and probably put Scotty at 2nd.
Do you think then Rory stays at 5? Is it too big of a week for Rory, do you think?
He stays at 5 for me.
I watched a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean a tiny bit before of his practice round with Tom McKibben and Darren Clark. And there was a par 5 on the hill. I don't know if it's 13 maybe, I don't know. And he hit a tee shot, blocked it miles right, hit another one, reloaded, an absolute massive snap hook. Now that might mean nothing because he had a great week last week and, whatever. But that made me think, oh, that's interesting.
I just don't know about Rory at the moment.
Hit and miss.
I just feel like since his Masters win, he's not quite been himself.
He's got a new haircut.
Don't love it.
No.
Reminds me of one that you've had in the past.
I've had some bad haircuts.
You've had a little chop.
You know what it is sometimes? I remember watching a few movies in the past where there's a fella with short hair and you think, oh, he looks really cool. And I remember once watching a boxing film. I think it was Jake Gyllenhaal and he had a skinhead. And I watched it, I'm going to do that. And unfortunately, I didn't look quite the same as him with the skinhead. So I think maybe he's had some inspiration off a movie or something. He said
he was trying to cut out the grey hair.
It makes it look worse, yeah. Not ideal.
I think it's good. I think my ranking's not far off there. I played Valderrama last week and it, honestly, bucket list golf course. Like we were talking in the office, it's almost one of the only courses that really gets the full attention in Spain. Considering how many golf courses there are. It's not long at all. Like if you could hit mini drive around there, you can burn it up. However, if you are more than 2 to 3 yards offline, it is so easy to make bogey. You get blocked out by trees. The greens are tiny.
These look so small.
Tiny. And I didn't actually know that a lot about Valderrama. I knew that it was tight. I knew that you had to hit accurate tee shots. But I thought once you got that bit done, it's fine. It's not. It's half the battle. Like it really is one of the most challenging courses. Hence the scores weren't outrageously low at the Live Golf event at Andalusia. Ironically, I think it's one of those courses that if it was built now, it'd almost be getting accused of being a bit Mickey Mouse. Almost
too hard.
Always just a bit,
It's too much going on.
Yeah. But obviously it's got heritage. It hosted the Ryder Cup in 1997. I think that's what it was actually built for originally. Tigers won there. They've had WGCs. They've had lots of tournaments. The Live's been there now for 3 years. Unbelievable venue, but one that I would love to play another 10 times or more just to grasp even an ounce of it. It is one of the most mentally testing courses I've ever played.
You know what, you said something mentally testing that I resonate with, that genuinely now, obviously I'd love to play a golf course like Valderrama. I'm sure everybody watching and listening is in the same boat. These golf courses are bucket list golf courses, but when they're watching you at that break 75, there's something about that style of golf course where you have to hit a great tee shot, otherwise you're behind the tree in thick rough. That's quite mentally draining and hard to do. You find the fairway miraculously, you then got potentially trees to go around, or you've got a tiny green, you miss the green, it takes a bounce, you're in a horribly deep bunker, or you're in really thick, juicy rough. You chip out the rough to 35 foot away, you 3-stab. I almost feel like, as bad as it sounds, I can't be doing with it.
It was the easiest golf course I've ever played to make a bogey.
Yeah.
Because you didn't have to do a great deal wrong, and you made a bogey so easily. It was like I was just bleeding bogeys all over the golf course. And it's not easy to make birdies. It's not as if you can bleed bogeys, but also you can make 5 or 6 birdies. You can't. Like, it's really... The greenkeeper actually spoke to him on the 10th hole on the next day, because I actually played 18 holes with Poulter the next day, which was fascinating. He played really well round there, actually. And the greenkeeper said to me, it's like playing 36 par 3s.
Okay.
So your tee shot's like a par 3 for how accurate you got to be. And then your second shot's like a par 3. And I've never known a golf course to be described like that, the way you play it. It's like playing 36 par 3s.
Wow.
Because it's not long. You don't just have to bomb driver.
Well, it's notorious, obviously, on tour that par 3s have like the worst scoring average because they're the easiest holes to make bogeys on.
Yeah, they are.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really fascinating. Next week after the Open, and who knows who's going to win, but it might be one of the Live Golf guys. If you are in the UK, I highly recommend still getting involved and getting tickets for Live Golf UK at your place and my favourite place, JCB Golf and Country Club.
Yes.
It is unbelievable location. Couple of hours drive north of London, couple of hours drive south of Manchester, right in the middle of the country, really close to Alton Towers theme park.
Make a weekend of it.
Why not? You get to see some of the best golfers in the world. We have got a special offer just for you wonderful listeners and viewers. We're back on viewers to celebrate the fact that 19 Live golfers are playing in the Open. We're going to give 19% off tickets. Link is in the description below. Click the link. You can get 19% off your tickets. Friday, the 25th is the first day. 26th, 27th. Take the family. Take your wife. It's if you watch the Open, that's one way of watching golf. You go to a Live Golf event, it's a very different way of watching golf. You heard us talk about Live Golf JCB last year. Me and the rest of the team went. I think we're doing it again this Friday. Next Friday, us and the team are going to go down, have a nice day out. It's epic. You are going to want to get involved.
The Open is a Sunday roast, okay? Lovely beef. Big Yorkshire pudding, bit of gravy, a nice glass of red wine. That's the Open, and that is lovely. We all love that. Cutlery. Yeah, got knives and forks. And you're getting served by a lovely waitress or waiter. Very nice kind of historic pub.
You might get wet.
But
that's part of the journey.
Little roaring fire in the corner. However, Live Golf, it's your cool burger joint. There's music on, there's a bit of hip hop, there's milkshakes, there's sports on the TV. You go in there, say, hey, what's up? It's more of a friendly atmosphere. You want a beer and you want a Coke? Have 2 drinks.
Why not? Knock yourself out.
That is JCB. You can enjoy them both. They're different. You can love them both.
Exactly that. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. And we are excited to be filming lots of content there at JCB. Obviously, you've seen the golf course on the channel a few times before. We're actually going tomorrow, heading over there to film the Break 75 with a special Live Golf guest, which is going to be fantastic. I'll be trying to break 75. He'll be trying to break potentially 65. Who knows? And that video will be out next Friday. A video that went out last night.
Yes.
Forget
the Open.
The Open.
Nonsense.
The Open schmopen.
Oh, I won a claret jug. Well, I'm a good golfer, champion of the year.
I beat every single golfer on the planet.
Wow, it was cold and rainy. Wow, am I good?
Over 4 rounds at Robot Rush.
Wow, I beat Scotty Scheffler. Pathetic.
Useless. To get you in the Open spirit, head to the Golf YouTube channel, the main Rick Shiels Golf YouTube channel, and you will see a video on there called The Major. And it was 3 highly established golfers. I was going to say golf professionals then. Golfers.
No.
Battling it out for 18 holes around one of the most famous links golf courses here in the UK, previously hosted the Ryder Cup many moons ago at Southport and Ainsdale.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a handicap system going on.
As always.
It was me, James Robinson, Guy Charnock. I started level par.
Conventional.
You started 5 under par.
Yeah.
James started 5 over par. 18 holes, and it went down to the wire.
It did. It was a very fun round of golf for many reasons.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Because I've not spoke to you since it.
I'm fine. Not
to give anything away.
No, not to give anything away, but I I played some great golf in that video. And I also, no, that's not actually true. I played some very gritty golf, and inevitably something happened towards the later round of the golf that ruined that. I find golf difficult to play well for 18 holes.
Yeah.
If there was 9-hole, I know, I was going to say that's wrong. I was going to say if there was more 9-hole matches, I might do well. That's nonsense. If I was playing well over 3 holes and there was only a 4-hole round, I'd get nervous on the 4th hole, the final hole. I just can't complete, my brain isn't wired to be able to do something well and finish it like a round of golf. I have to blow up. And bizarrely, this might be really weird, it might just be only me that thinks like this. Occasionally, when I have missed a putt in a comp or blown up and out of bounds, there's a weird part of relief. Like, okay, the pressure's gone now. It's mad, that, isn't it? That I need to see someone about that, because I've done it before in like junior comps when I was growing up, where I'd have this really good scorecard, get to 17, lash out of bounds, and have a mixture of absolute devastation and almost like this weight's lifted. It's like, okay, you're out the comp, don't worry about it anymore. It's bad, that, isn't it? Do you know that's how Rory McIlroy and those guys think when they're on the...
Yeah, definitely. When he dunked it on the water on 13 at Augusta, he just thought to himself, oh, I'm glad that's out the way.
That is how you know. Because golf, this is the thing, right? I can go to driving range and it's pointless because I can hit the ball well because there's 0 consequences. There's a ball, there's a mat, there's an empty field, and I can hit shot after shot. And sometimes I can actually get annoyed at myself for not hitting a bad one. That might sound weird, but I'll set literally a pretend fairway and go, right, hit mini driver off the deck or hit driver, bang, bang, bang. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. If I did this all the time, I could be off scratch, no problem. Get to the golf course, give me an out of bounds, give me a pond, give me a tight fairway. Doesn't happen. How? Help.
Madness, isn't it? No, I get it. It's madness. It's, yeah. And you know what? On the same flip side, you know James Robinson's never going to do that.
I know.
If anything, he's going to birdie the last 2 holes.
Yeah. But then that's also what confuses me, that playing with James Robinson he's so incredibly good. Obviously, he's not a full-time golfer anymore, but the guys that are full-time golfers make James look not like he's not very good.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
I know. Do you, saying all that though, and I heard you getting called it yesterday, Guy van der Velde, Jarnock.
Yeah.
How, going back to, was it 1999 at the Open when John van der Velde was playing Carnoustie?
Yeah.
I mean, that has to be one of the biggest bottle jobs ever taken place. And listen, I'm not saying you put me in that position on the 18th hole, I'm doing worse than John van der Velde without question. But like, I wonder how much he wakes up at night sweating and screaming over that.
Yeah, I mean, he must wish every day, well, maybe he doesn't anymore, but has had a spell of wishing every day he'd go back to that 18th tee and play the hole again one more time.
Do you think he's the most famous non-winner of the Open?
Oh, in terms of
the Open,
in terms of what he did, it's a tale that'll get told for eternity. And
I mean, you had your own John van der Velde moment a little bit.
Yeah, I've had many.
Without getting your feet wet.
Thankfully, mine was against you two at St Ansel Link at St Southport and Ainsdale with a trophy on the line.
Not for the
claret jug and probably $1 million. Well, what would be equate to £1 million of today's money. But no, I think that is the problem with golf. It's just so incredibly difficult. And to be fair, I think people listening, people watching who are just run-of-the-mill average golfers, you have to remember that it is so difficult. And those rounds where everything clicks, if ever really happen, that the best way I think of being a decent golfer, and this sounds so stupid to say out loud, but it's true, is to hit bad shots, because you're going to hit bad shots, but have your bad shots not be that bad. Like where I've hit one out of bounds, or I'll top it into a faux bunker, or whatever it might be. You can't really help that. But the golfers that I've played with before who were good level club golfers just seem to just thin one, but then like it's not too bad.
Almost gets on the greens sometimes.
Yeah, and and you see it sometimes with some like seniors who don't have the strength they used to have, don't hit the golf ball miles, but just pap it around, no real danger. It might shoot 82, 85, 79 occasionally, that kind of number. But they're not going to suddenly have a massive blow up and smash it out of bounds. And that is a difficult thing. How do you almost get to that level? I don't know if you can, if it's just ingrained. I don't know. But I would love to be a boring golfer who just doesn't do a lot of mess ups. But then again, everybody would, wouldn't they? I don't know. It's hard.
I would. I don't know if I'd want to just feel...
Rory's not, is he? Rory can shoot...
Scotty Scheffler's not.
Scotty Scheffler's a bit more...
I accused him maybe a year or so ago of being boring, and I take it back because I don't think he is. He does hit some really rogue shots.
Yeah.
But he recovers so well.
Yeah. Well, it's like those stats again. I'm not got the numbers to hand, but it's something like, a scratch golfer and a 7 handicap golfer, whatever it might be. It's like the scratch golfer doesn't get many more birdies per round, but gets a lot less double bogeys, etc. It's keeping those big numbers off your scorecard. But even though I know that, I still can't execute it. It's difficult. But one thing I am considering is getting some new irons. I currently, as you know, use T100 Titleist, which I love, but I've hit a lot of bad strikes recently where you can feel it. I think do get something a bit bigger.
You've become the latest and greatest. I would go as far as saying the second biggest reviewer on the Rick Shiels, on the Hit channel.
I would say I am the second best person to ever review a golf club in the Rick Shiels Hit Golf Studio. And I don't want to blow smoke up my own bum.
And that's
it's hard.
Solid.
Yeah.
That is solid. So, Guy, you tested some clubs on your own last week while the cat was
Daddy
away.
was away, the boy came out to play.
No, we chatted about it. We feel like it's a really added value to the viewer, to the listener, to be able to get a different insight to club testing. Obviously, I've been doing it, for 13 years and absolutely love it, and will continue to do it. Do not worry about that. But we thought, from obviously people watching on the main channel know you're on the podcast, thought it'd be a good time to get Guy in the studio hitting some clubs that might suit kind of it's wrong to call you an average golfer because you're not. You're a very good player, but you have a little bit more of erratic strikes sometimes, or you need a little bit more help, etc. So you tested the new ping irons, am I right in saying, and you did a very, very solid job. Well done. Lots of super positive feedback on the video. So if you've not watched it yet, be sure to go over to the Hit channel. It might be a new what's the right word? Evolution of the Hit channel, where might be myself, might be Guy, might be some other testers potentially in the future. But really exciting to know that I've just seen a prompt on the Hit channel. We started the Hit channel exactly 2 years ago today.
Oh my gosh.
It wasn't called that at the time, but wow. So exciting times. 112,000 viewers have thoroughly enjoyed that video. Lots of positive comments, as I mentioned, and excited to see what potentially he's testing next. So I'm guessing the ping irons aren't going in the bag.
So I like the ping irons. They were really, really solid. I think for me, I want something. Again, I'm at the level of golf where a lot of people listen and watch now, where I aspire to use something that's small, that's sleek. I don't like when like a ping or a TaylorMade or whatever bring out an iron that matches that year's driver. They're normally quite big, aren't they? So like a Stealth iron or a Ping G430 or whatever. They're always quite chunky. That's probably not going to be for me, really. And also, they're quite strong lofted, and you've got a huge gap between your pitching wedge and your gap wedge, and I don't want it. What I want is something like that Ping i240, potentially like a TaylorMade P770, the new Titleist T250, which we'll come on to in a minute. They look phenomenal. That kind of thing, where you're getting, I did the best of both worlds. Looks slim, looks sleek, they're forged, but a bit more forgiveness. The Ping i240, they're not a forged iron, which doesn't bother me. They felt amazing. They got this kind of polymer thing in the back that makes them feel softer. Loads of brands have done that before. Nothing crazy new. I did like them. They just wouldn't. For me personally, I don't know. I think it probably be in my head a bit that they're not forged, which is silly, really, because what does that matter? But the Titleist irons, which we'll be getting our hands on hopefully quite soon, they do look stunning.
They look amazing. Titleist have done such a good job over the last few years to kind of become a much more long-lasting iron lineup, and to be fair, they had a pretty good stable anyway, but the latest irons, a bit like what TaylorMade have done, to be honest with you, where they're making irons, the evolution might not be as grand, or the storytelling or the spec might not be as grand, but the clubs are lasting longer because of their looks, and they're so much more futuristic and cleaner and just beautiful looking golf clubs.
You know what I think is really interesting? We've sometimes had this discussion before with golf clubs and golf brands and tour players about, do tour players influence people's buying decisions and stuff like that? And there's arguments yes, arguments no. It depends on, no disrespect at all. Chris Gotterup, who won this weekend, are people going to go out and buy clubs because he uses them? Maybe not right now, but if he goes on to win majors, then probably they will. It's all up for debate. But one thing that I think is really interesting is I'm currently saying how I maybe want new irons for more forgiveness and stuff like that. And maybe I do. Maybe it's just something that I kind of want. In that video, I also tested, which I know you saw, the i240 and then also hit some shots to the i230, the previous model, which actually worked better for me. But equally, if someone said to me, you can have a set right now for free, I'm going to take the new ones just because my brain's wired that way. I wonder if tomorrow golf brands just stopped asking the current players to use the latest and greatest gear. It would never happen, but just this anecdote, we'll pretend it did. I honestly believe the golf would use older gear, like Rory with the QI10, etc. And if that happened, I honestly think golfers would just have so much less desire to buy new gear. Because if you saw the tour pros not needing it, why would we?
Yeah, that's true. And probably I see it a bit more on Live. Like a lot of the guys aren't sponsored. You look around the set, we filmed the video with Henrik Stenson the other day. And I'm not sure if it was Matt or Ben. Ben's not been playing. It was Ben, actually. He's not been playing golf super long. I said, what are those clubs in Henrik Stenson's bag? And they were like Callaway irons from like 10 years ago. Like, they're not new. And because he's not been into golf that long, Ben, who's from the Aussie Ben from the team, he was like, I've never even seen them before. So I think, I do really think if contracts of players did expire, people would stick with the clubs a lot longer. Yeah, they're donkey's years as well, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious there's a whole reason why these brands pay the players to use the gear and use them in the marketing material to sell us to people like me who are stupid enough to believe not even believe the claims, but want it. We had an email the other day, I think it might be out now. Scotty Cameron have got some new black putters, like mallet-shaped putters, and look incredible. So I want one. Like, I don't need one, but yeah, it's just what they do. We've had a really good question, Rick. Well, I say it's a good question. I'm glad it's been asked, but I want to put this to bed right now, and I want to hear your thoughts on it. The name of the person on Facebook is Jaff Mer. I don't know if that's the real name or not. I think it might well be. It says, can Rick get an LPGA Pro on to finally squash the scratch golfers that think they'd win a game against one? I don't even think that has to be done.
It doesn't have to be done. However, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
So I actually spoke to Charlie Hull about a year or so ago about doing this match against like a scratch golfer who was running the mouth on social media. And I think we should try and make it happen again. I honestly believe it would be an absolute demolishing. Demolishization. Is that a word? I would love to see it. I think it's a great video. Female professional golfers are incredible. And if they were playing against a scratch handicapper, I would guess they would at least beat them by 6, if not 7.
Well, this is the thing, right? Sometimes I understand why some people, certainly obviously men, have this daydream if they're a good golfer of like, I'm a scratch golfer. I've been on, a launch round. So I can hit the ball 300 yards and I smoke one. These women might hit it 240, 250. I reckon I could beat them. And it's just some naive thoughts that they may have had. What really opened my eyes is a number of occasions. Firstly, seeing you play with some of these women who are absolutely insane. And secondly, and only recently, and it sounds really silly to say because I'm not at that level anyway, I'm not a scratch golfer. But when I played that match with you and James off the forward tees, clearly holes are much, much easier off forward tees. But you have to hit good shots. And also, these women aren't playing off red. They're playing off what men would play off local comps on white. So the Evian that's just this weekend on the women's major, was it a major this week, the LPGA?
Evian is a major, yeah.
I don't know if it was actually that one.
Was that not last week?
Yeah, I think it was.
2 weeks ago.
A couple of weeks ago, anyway.
No, it was because Charlie Hull had to actually pull out of it because she got a bit of heat stroke.
Yeah, well, the golf course was 6,700 yards long, essentially. So that is probably as long as most people listening or watching would play their local course at. It's not going to be a million miles off, is it?
Well, let's put it this way, right? You're right. The Marriott is 6,800 yards. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is about 6,500 yards, so to speak, roughly. If the club championship took place this weekend, everyone's golf club.
Yeah.
Let's call it 2 rounds. Realistically, how many club championships are won with under par scores?
Oh, very few.
Very few.
Very few.
Very, very, very few. The leading score in the tournament, Grace Kim, shot 14 under.
Yeah.
For 4 rounds. So for 2 rounds, let's call it 7 under.
Yeah.
They're not going to win that. They're not going to beat it. They're just not going to beat it. Tied 50th or tied 49th was level par.
And that's the thing. So it's like these women are absolutely insane at golf. So it's kind of a question that probably be asked forever, you know, how good is a scratch bloke against these women? I think the answer is not anywhere remotely close.
But we will endeavour to try and do that challenge. We'll find, I think Charlie Hull would be a great person to do it because she would love the challenge against a scratch handicapper who's running the mouth, thinks they can win it. Have you been watching the series on YouTube from Foreplay?
I've seen it where they play a hater.
It's brilliant. It's honestly one of my favourite series on YouTube. It is fantastic. And he had one recently, a guy a couple of weeks ago, and Riggs absolutely smashed him to bits, and it was awesome to watch. I really enjoyed it. But it's I just think if the pressure, playing in front of people, playing even on cameras, they would get their ass handed into them.
It's really funny as well, though, isn't it, when you look at like comments on YouTube videos, because there's always gonna be people who love stuff or hate stuff. But then what I find really, I understand people might like somebody or not like somebody. That's quite kind of binary, really. But what I find so odd is how people can perceive different things. So, for example, in that video, and I won't spoil the result, where it's me, you, and James from yesterday, really funny video. There's some people who say, oh, Guy needs a lot more shots than just 5 off Rick and 10 on James. And that's a preference thing. But when you watch the video, you'll see, actually, maybe that's not the case. There's reasons maybe why I do. But as a rule, that's actually not always the case. But then so other people commenting saying, someone said this is obviously a fix because of what happened on that certain hole. It's like, as if that is a fix that we've done, that's happened on today.
Well, you are contracted to lose.
You.
So.
But it's just strange, isn't it? I've got another, speaking of women's golf, Rick, I've got a really good email. So please, people watching, listening, email us, podcast@rickshiels.com. We read as many as we can. We read out a good few as well. This one is from, I won't say the full name, but a guy called Victor. Hi, Rick and Guy. I'm wanting your take on this. I'm 16 years old, not the fittest, and I'm a 22 handicap. Play on weekends whenever I can. In my bag, I have a little junior hybrid my parents gifted me when I was 11. I find that because of the slightly lighter head and the shorter shaft, the club is a lot easier to hit than my other clubs, which are regular golf clubs. Therefore, I'm considering a change to a women's set of clubs, which are lighter and easier to swing than my actual golf clubs. Therefore, help me hit the golf ball more consistently and enjoy my rounds more. I think that companies should make cheap, easy to hit golf clubs for weekend hackers like me who just want to hit the golf ball around and enjoy their time golfing. Now, that last part of the email, yeah, maybe they should do. But a broader topic, opinions, thoughts on men using women's golf clubs, because I'm all for it.
Just a quick one. Was that from a 16-year-old? What a very well-written email from a 16-year-old. Yeah. I think at 16, 100% you should be looking at using different options. And I think brands are getting a lot better at bringing out clubs that are suited to more golfers. Yet you've got your lady line, which typically, stereotypical, unfortunately, will have more pinks, more purples, more floral designs potentially. But a lot of brands now are bringing out like senior golf clubs, which are very similar to ladies clubs anyway, but still look like gents clubs. So I think there's lots of options available now. So I think if I was you guys looking at it, I would definitely look at picking up some clubs that are easier for you to hit without question. At 16-year-old, no one is going to bat an eyelid if you're using clubs that aren't full-size men yet, because with all due respect, you're not a full-size man just yet.
Yeah, I would actually recommend, genuinely, from my days fitting many moons ago, it's all down to things like height, strength, club head speed, and obviously your trajectory as well and what you're trying to achieve. You're right, that, you know, even 10 years ago, brands like Ping, TaylorMade, etc. would have like a ladies line, and they'd often be, like you said, pink and stuff like that, designed more for females, maybe quite stereotypical. So you can understand why a gent might be a bit not wanting to use that. Looking now on TaylorMade's website, they do a line called, I think it's the Callier golf clubs, which actually, although they kind of look different to the men's, they kind of got like black on, a bit of gold, don't look particularly feminine. If I show that driver that it's the 2027 driver from TaylorMade that's been released, you'd probably think, oh, okay, it makes sense. So they have things like that, which actually as well, another thing to caveat, are reassuringly expensive. Now, what I mean by that is, there was often, again, an era where brands would make a women's set. It was a cheap, cobbled-together package set, oh, that's for women. And again, you could argue it's quite disrespectful. It's to say, if you're a woman and you play golf, you don't want cheap tat. You don't want a premium set of golf clubs because you either don't deserve them or you don't need them or you're not good enough. TaylorMade and other brands as well are saying, okay, if you're a woman and you're serious about your golf, here's some gear, and it's actually really premium gear, so that's good. No reason why man couldn't use that. And then also as well on that, TaylorMade appear to actually do things like the QI 35, and I think they do like irons and all sorts, which are kind of, might be a slightly lighter head, obviously slightly lighter shaft, lighter grips, etc. Which to the untrained eye would look exactly like the gents ones, but lighter. So if you're a senior or you don't have the strength, why not?
When I was teaching full time, and I'd teach some young golfers or I'd teach some ladies, and sometimes I'd demonstrate a shot with their club, it was so easy to hit. I loved it. I questioned it a few times. Why don't I use these clubs? Because it just doesn't seem like hard work at all. So yeah, definitely look at different options to help you play better golf.
One more email for you, Rick, and this is a little bit of one just to give you a little ego, a little bit of a massage. You feel like you've not seen this email yet, so I've pulled this out the hat. Thought it might make you feel quite good about yourself. So feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Chill.
And here we go.
Soak up the accolades.
Soak up the vibe. It's from Matt. It says, "Dear Rick and Guy, I hope this email finds you well. The weekend just..." I love you, Rick. Can I have some more money, please? I have
bills.
Is
this for a pay rise?
Do we start paying Matt yet or not? Because maybe if you keep going, Matt, you will get your first check. It says, "I attended Lytham Festival with the missus and some friends on Saturday. And just as we were heading into the garden section, I noticed a brackets very tall, well-bearded gentleman coming towards me. Shades on, donning a Von Dutch cap. I couldn't believe it. Mr. Rick Shiels. They say never meet your heroes, but Rick was very approachable despite clearly enjoying the show with his wife and friends, and he happily stopped for a photo and a fist pump. Then asked me for 50 quid. He didn't really say that. It was also, there wasn't any awkward fist bump or handshake. It was a very solid touching of knuckles.
Wow.
Which is nice to hear. Whilst my missus jokingly said, let him know she can't get near the TV in our house anymore, must mean that he's always pushing to one side. He's got the control and he's putting Rick Shiels on the TV.
Oh, that's nice.
So there you go. And then he says, I also have a question for you. Hopefully you can answer. Like every very amateur golfer, I have a million things going through my head at setup. What are your main steps in setting up for blocking out everything else, or is that just golf?
He did ask me this live and I said, email in.
Did he? But email asked me, make me look really nice, then I'll answer your question.
No, it's funny. You've been around me enough times. Like, it's one of the first things people say is how much taller I am in real life, which is bizarre, isn't it, really?
Yeah, but I suppose you maybe, because you're not like, some people just look tall. Maybe they're almost not tall. It's like a vibe. You don't really look that tall on camera, do you? But what are you, like 6 foot?
6 foot, exactly, I think. So, well, thank you for that. I'll talk a little bit more about the festival and a few other things that's been going on in the moment. But setup wise, it's just consistency. It sounds boring, but you've got to make sure you get your ball position right, your width of stance right, your distance away from the ball. If you can nail those things consistently, where it becomes almost second nature. Again, I've been lucky enough to watch a lot of professional golfers practice now, and someone like a Poulter, he's religiously, he has these 2 alignment sticks that cross over, and he puts them on the floor every single practice session. He checks his ball position, he checks his alignment, he checks his distance away from the ball religiously, so it becomes second nature. So if you can get those things right and nailed, you're on for a good start.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been here, there, and everywhere at the moment. Lytham Festival.
Yeah.
Justin Timberlake was headlining.
2 questions. Is that a fall from grace, or is it the fact that Lytham Festival's getting really good, or is it a hybrid? I'll say fall from grace is a bit strong, but
it's a tough one because Lytham Festival is definitely growing, and headline acts like Stevie Wonder was the night before.
Oh wow, fair dues.
Like Alanis Morissette was the night before. That actually got cancelled because of bad weather. The night after was Texas and Simple Minds, and then I believe it was King of Leon on the first night, but one of the drummers or something broke his leg, so that had to get cancelled. But it was packed, 25,000 fans.
Really?
Wow. Me and a load of friends went. I was rocking a Von Dutch hat, which proper old school.
Yeah.
I've spotted them in America, so I bought a few Von Dutch hats recently. I'm now not drinking. So I've done now a year of not drinking, which I'll come on to in a second. So going to a festival not drinking is a very different scenario. So it'd have been funny if then he said, and Rick was bladdered, because I wasn't bladdered because I was drinking 0 beer. But yeah, it was awesome. I mean, he literally has it all, doesn't he? Justin Timberlake, not the guy that's emailed in.
Well,
he was quite nice as well, but like, He can sing, he can dance, he's great looking, he's cool as anything, he plays golf. I did try and reach out to him to have a game of golf, but I found out...
Don't play golf the weekend!
I had a big sign. But I found out he's literally helicoptering in and then helicoptering out straight after, so he didn't have any time. He would have done, obviously.
Oh, yeah, of course.
He would have had a little 9-hole knock with me. But that was pretty awesome. This week, I'm going to Oasis.
Yes.
Tomorrow night. In fact, tomorrow night, I'm going to Oasis, so that'll be another... scenario where I'm needing to go in there without alcohol, which is it's kind of I'm getting more used to it. But yeah, I've done a year now, not drinking.
What's the goal? Forever, or just going to do? Because I guess a year was a big milestone. So now you've done that. Do you kind of feel like motivated to carry on? If I've done that now, so
it never started as being a year milestone. It was just let's see how I get on. And once you get through a month and 2 months, I know you did a year.
Oh, I did about 18 months or so. Yeah.
So like it was to get up. Maybe do a month, and then once I got to a month, it was like, well, let's do 3 months. And then kind of once you get past 3 months, you're like, I don't want to ruin it now. Like something's going to have to happen to ruin this. And certainly when I got to 6 months, I was like, well, something really, like what is actually going to make me drink now? I've been through so many different scenarios over that 6 months, loads of social events, loads of different things. I've been to weddings, I've been to birthday parties. I've had lots of occasions that I would have normally drank and I've not done. So what's going to break that? And then before you know it, you're at a year and you're like, well, that was weirdly easier than I expected. The first 3 months are the hardest without question. But kind of once you start telling people I've not drank for 3 months or I've not drank for 6 months, people respect it and they don't put any peer pressure on you. Where if you say, oh, I stopped drinking a week ago, it's very easy to fold into peer pressure because a week, what's a week?
Start again next week.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But I think once you start building some blocks on top of it and you get to 6 months and you get to a year, like when I went to, again, Lytham Festival last week, and, you know, I'm saying to my mates who normally, the last time I drank was Lytham Festival 2024. That was the last time I drank a drink of alcohol. And even at that point, I wasn't drinking loads. Once you get to a year, like, my mates aren't going to pressure me into it, are they? Like, they're not your mates if that's what they're doing. Zero beer has changed my life. Zero Guinness is amazing. Zero Desperado is unbelievable. Zero Peroni and all those other ones. So, like, that's really made the whole not drinking situation better. I feel better in myself. I feel more alert and active. I substituted it for a while with food. I've now cut back on that. So
is that when you went to that birthday party, you were drinking pints of burger? I'll have a pint of burger, please.
Pint of birthday cake.
And a shot of ketchup.
So that I kind of now even that out a little bit. And yeah, just feel like I've made a nice positive change. It's not for everybody. I'm not claiming it should be. I'm not saying you should stop drinking. But it's definitely worth trying it for a few weeks and seeing how you feel, because I do feel really nice for it.
I did 100 days of no chocolate. And that was for me harder than, because I'm the kind of person who I don't really massively like alcohol. So when I give it up, I feel like I'm almost cheating, because it's not like hard for me to do really at all. It's probably like the same as saying I'm going to quit ice cream or popcorn. Well, I might have popcorn 3 times a year, so to quit it's not really a big thing. Same for ice cream. Whereas chocolate for me is a borderline addiction. I feel like I have to every night watching TV have some chocolate. So for me, quitting chocolate I don't want to do 100 days. And I thought, I'm not going to quit forever because that would be ridiculous, but I want to do 100 days. And that was really difficult.
Yeah. I would then say the opposite. I think I could quit chocolate.
Yeah. Well, everyone's got their own vices, haven't they? Yeah. So I did say, I thought I was going to go for my whole life being teetotal, and I pretty much am. But like, I played golf with my friends the other day, nearly 2 weeks ago. And when we finished, they had a beer, and I never drink beer. I was like, you know what? I really fancy one beer. And I had it. It was all right. So that's okay. And then I might go 2 months out of another one. I might go a year. I might go 6 weeks or 6 days. Who knows? But I think for people, I do think, not trying to tell people what to do, but alcohol isn't that great, is it really? In the grand scheme of things, what it can do to people, it can make events amazing. It really can. And having a few drinks to friends can be amazing. But overall, you feel crap the next day. Yeah. You eat rubbish. It's like,
I even went to a 40th birthday party this weekend, and again, normally a very boozy event. It's someone's house, really close friends of ours. And I was there and I wasn't drinking, 0 beers. And I found myself having a great time. I danced, which I never thought I would have done sober. I chatted to people. I remember every conversation. I wake up the next day feeling quite smug and genuinely don't feel like I missed out on a great deal. Like, what did I actually miss out on? Like, I probably didn't stay as long as I would have done if I was drinking.
But that's when it starts to get silly anyway.
I know. And I was like, I feel like I've been social. I've chatted. I've danced. I've had a good time. I've done everything I wanted to do at the party. Yeah, I'm not getting any of the bad sides.
The thing is, though, again, it's not been. Everyone's got their own right to do what they want. But say if people were giving you a hard time at the party, which they obviously didn't do, those people might go, "Oh, Rick, have a couple," and you go, "No, I'm okay." They then might have a bit too much to drink, go home, have a massive pizza, half cut, sleep on the couch, wake up in the morning, absolutely banging headache. Then that day they had jobs to do, they might have wanted to go to the gym. That all gets pushed to one side. Then they order a Chinese to try. And then if we know the Saturday or Sunday, whichever day it is just gone. Then Monday comes along, they're going to work a bit ropey. Like it does have compounding effects on it. So it's not that's a bad thing to do. But if you have got goals that might involve fitness or losing a bit of weight, or it does add a lot onto it, doesn't it? It does hold you back.
It's surprising, really. You know, it's the only kind of drug that is deemed okay to do.
Well, on that note, I'm really happy to announce to everybody our new Rick Shiels 0% beer has launching next week. So.
I thought you could say this podcast is brought to you by Peroni.
Yeah.
But honestly, genuinely, I know you're not the biggest fan of beer taste, but for me, just holding a drink, certainly Guinness Zero, or whatever, a zero drink, what looks like a beer. Literally, the amount of people that didn't even know I wasn't drinking because it looks like I am. I'm holding a glass that looks like beer, but it's not.
That is the game changer.
It is the biggest game changer, honestly. And even when I went to the festival, like me and my mates, like I still did rounds with them. I still felt part of it all. And you know, as much as they were buying beers, I would just say, "Oh, get us a." I can't remember what I think it was Peroni Zero. Get us a Peroni Zero, and it just, it was really, really good. I'm actually really proud of myself, to be honest with you. And I don't, to answer your question, I don't know where it ends.
But you know what's good with that is, say if you do decide in 6 months, you know what, I want to have a glass of red wine, whatever you might do, you might not.
That's what I want to get to.
But you've done it. You've always got that. Now you've got under your belt. I did it for a year.
I would definitely like to at some point in time, and I don't know when this is, because I don't want it. One of those things, I don't want it to be a knock-on effect, like a domino effect. But I would love to be able to go out for a nice meal with my wife, lovely steak restaurant, and have a nice bottle of red wine. Because for me, that complements the meal. It's not me getting pissed up and drunk. It's like we're getting that bottle of wine because it complements what we're eating, and I'd like to get to that point again without it being a domino effect of suddenly I'm taking shots of Sambuca through the eyeball like I've done in the past. But yeah, anyway, all good. Ricky is dead. That character is gone forever. But thanks for listening, thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast channel. We've said it before, and we're not going to make any promises because we break promises, unfortunately. But our goal is to bring the video podcast back.
Yeah. Just on that, you know, you don't want to be Rick anymore. Maybe Ricky. It could be Ricardo. Little glass of red, little Ricardo turns up.
Love that.
The housewives love him.
Love him. Little slip back hairstyle.
Forget JT, Justin Timberlake, got Ricardo on the scene.
JT was just different level.
Do you reckon he has a god drink?
I think he has something.
If you're famous though, you can. Like that. If you're Justin Timberlake, you can do what you want.
Well, I think he's had a few other things. Because didn't he get done for DUI recently?
Oh, did he?
And I think he's other substances. Not that I'm starting rumours, but it's from what I saw on the news. Anyway, thanks for listening. Enjoy the Open. I'm sure it's going to be amazing. And we'll be chatting next Monday. We are going to be doing next Monday podcast.
Talk about the Open winner.
Talking about who is going to be your Open winner. Leave your predictions down in the comments below. And don't forget, 19% off tickets for Live Golf, JCB. Get involved. You're not going to regret it. That's an awesome event to attend. We'll see you all soon. Bye.